If the first game of breaks no get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the games after this win in. First year again, we're here for the first May. Can everybody give that 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
You know, I know what I came here to do, and you know, it's my job to go and get that done.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, hanging out with Coach Jay. Dauber's in the house, and Dustin Sellers is back for the post-game shows this season. Boys, Tennessee takes care of business. This was a glorified scrimmage. We knew going into it, right? But we've seen what can happen in week one. We saw it last year with Austin Peay. We saw it with NC State and Western Carolina. Tennessee goes out. They did what they were supposed to do, 69-3 over Chattanooga, 700+ yards of offense for just the third time in program history. Boys, the Nico era started today. It started today, and we're already breaking records. 700 yards for the third time in program history. Nico, the most passing yards ever in a half by a quarterback at the University of Tennessee, 314 yards in that first half. Oh, by the way, the first quarter, Tennessee up 24-0. They scored more points in the first quarter than they did any game a year ago. This offense is different. This offense is about to take over. We also played a little defense today. Let's get into it, boys. Opening comments. Coach Jay, I got to let you go first. I got to let you. Do you have anything you want to get off your chest?
I have a lot I want to get off my chest, but, am I happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Do I feel like the job's done yet? Job finished yet? No, job's not done yet, right? Like, we got a long season in front of us. I don't know how many games you got to win before you put this thing in the bag. But look, now that the season started and everyone's seen it, it's time to turn that corner and start to go for big things again here in Knoxville, guys. Tennessee was meant for more than these crumbs that we've had over the last few years. So I'm not satisfied. I want more. You can see what Nico can do. He can lead us to the promise, and I'm telling you, this kid is special. He's once in a lifetime, and let's go, man. There's been so much disrespect on Tennessee's name over the last 20 years, and I'm sick of it. It's time to shut everyone the F up. I'm tired of it. It's time to go. I think it should be a rallying cry. I'm challenging you all. Expect more out of this team. Dauber, would you like to change your pick on the Oklahoma game yet?
Man,
on blast. We just got started.
Game one, that's what we expected. That's what we hope to see. Relatively clean game. A few pre-snap penalties, a few things to work on that you don't want to do against a good team. You don't want to give them extra chances or put your team behind and down in distance chasing. But man, I tell you what, fellas, this offense with Nico at the helm, the skill guys that we have, Sampson, Selden looked good, Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis. I mean, all those guys. And then we talked Wednesday about the wide receivers. Man, it is literally a pick your poison. I think the whole group played well today. Caught some balls that were not necessarily on point, but I tell you, especially the first half, apart from the 2 drives to end the half, Nico was throwing lasers, throwing to open guys, making good reads, and defense. I mean, I think we'll get into a little bit more later on with Coach Jay, and we'll dissect some stuff. But I tell you what, this defense is legit. There's some dudes, and you didn't even see all those dudes today show out. So all in all, what we expected, what should have happened, the game be over by halftime. You get young guys into the game. That's what gets experience. That's what helps you build for the future. So, hey, got that dub week 1. Let's roll to week 2.
You know what's funny, and we're gonna dig into all of it, but just talking about the defense in general, and then we'll get Dustin's comments here. People that were questioning the defense, somebody tweeted at me and said, "Yeah, but what about this defense?" They gave up 83 yards in the first half. Chattanooga was 0 for 7 on third down. Oh, and they were averaging less than 2 yards a carry. So do you want to talk about the defense? We can talk about
let
the
in
defense.
Tackles.
Was it Will Brooks?
It was Will Brooks.
You want me to tell you why? Because he can't cover, and he's too slow, and we need to get Jacoby Thomas on the field. But we're going to get into that in just a second.
In the right spots, though. And that's what the coaching staff has said. He may not be the quickest, may not be the most athletic, but he's in the right spots.
I'm going to try to not destroy Will Brooks today. That's my goal for this stream. Dustin, what'd you think, man? Just overall thoughts for week 1, total domination.
Yeah, great icebreaker. Definitely saw a lot more depth right off the bat. I know this is Chattanooga, but just the seamlessness, there wasn't much drop off. We already mentioned that the 2-minute thing was a little sloppy. But if you look at my notes here, like, I don't know if y'all can see that, but like a lot more pros than cons here. So,
yeah, definitely.
And really I would chalk a lot of the cons up to just, the first game, getting out there and knocking the dust off a little bit. But yeah, overall, big picture, I think my biggest takeaway was the fact that we didn't have an Austin P type lull after the first drive. That was my big takeaway. It looked comfortable. Again, we know this is Chattanooga, but just, again, getting out there and taking live reps for a lot of these guys was huge. The fact that we could rotate players and just the overall execution, top to bottom, I thought was really solid. Didn't really even have to yell at the screen or anything like that today. So that's a good start for game 1.
It almost got boring, right? It felt like the spring game. We saw the fireworks early. Tennessee goes out, they score on their first 7 drives. 3 of those drives were over 70 yards. We saw Nico take shots down the field. We saw him be patient early. That's what I liked. He was patient early. He was comfortable with the little quick stuff to Brew McCoy. And then that they opened up the middle of the field, and we're going to get into all that. The middle of the field is something that we have harped on all offseason. We get little teases of it. We get these clips, and then we saw it today. Yeah. And when you're throwing over the middle of the field, when Sampson is so electric with the ball in his hand, you can throw those swing passes. The difference is last year, Tennessee you knew what was coming, right? It's like, okay, quick to the outside, quick to the outside, quick to the – when you got to do the same thing every time, the defense can prepare for it. But Tennessee this year is going to attack you all over the field. Buckle up, boys. Yeah, it was Chattanooga. And let's start this show off by saying it was Chattanooga. We get it. Guess what? Yep. Guess what? Tyler Bray played against some teams like Chattanooga. Peyton Manning played against some teams like Chattanooga. All the greats, Hendo Cinco, Casey Clausen, all the great quarterbacks to roll through here have played against Chattanooga. Nico, game 1, throws for the most yards ever in a half at the University of Tennessee. Let that sink in. Let me catch up with you guys. We got almost 500 people watching live. We get it. It's Chattanooga. Everybody's hot. Everybody's been drinking. Everybody's like, I'm going to go watch this Miami-Florida game. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk Tennessee football because that's what we do here. Rip becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Rip. We appreciate you. Look, sometimes these post-game shows get chaotic because there's so many people in the chat. All of you that give your hard-earned money as super chats, we want to vocalize that. We want you to have a voice. But if you're a member of the channel, I try to highlight your comments on the screen as well. That way everybody here has a voice. Plus, you keep the lights on around here. So shout out to Rip. You guys can think about hitting that join button. It's only $1. Carl, the accountable accountant for 2, says, I called it Wednesday, 69-3. Carl is the ultimate predictor. So maybe instead of Coach Jay giving you guys gambling advice, we'll get Carl to do it. Coach Rice for 5 says, just want to point out my final score prediction. Why does everybody come in here and drop super chats to brag? Final score prediction was 69-10. What a day for this program now and in the future. Nico for Heisman. Some of us are talking about Khalifa Keith for Heisman, so we'll see. The Griff for 10. Nico is him. Pay that MF for another $8 million. GBO. Coach Jay, one-word answer. Best $8 million Tennessee's ever spent, yes or no?
Easy.
Moving on. Larry Amerson for 2. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, my man. Adam Lee for 2. Looks like I could be right. I don't know what he's talking about, but I bet Adam is right.
He's right. Yeah,
because everybody is dropping super chats to tell us they were right. So I bet Adam is right. Appreciate the super chat. Jeff for 10. Ball for life. GBO. We appreciate you, Jeff. Seth for 5 says Dante Thornton is about to have a hell of a season. 2024 version of Hyatt. I doubled down all offseason. Let me brag some too and said Thornton was going to be him. You start hearing about Brazil. Guess what? We got 2 of them. They're both gamers. They're both electric.
Brew brought it too.
Yeah,
we knew that, right? We knew
they all did.
And Brazel was inches away from having 2 touchdowns in the back of the end zone.
If Nico was in at quarterback,
right?
Touchdown.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Gaston though too. He came out and played well.
Well, I saw some people complaining about the way he played and saying, I want to see Merklinger. Gaston Moore deserves that. He deserves that opportunity to go out and play.
One thing I'll say real quick is Gaston was right. Well, the pick he just missed through, but he was right on all of his throws. He was late with the ball twice and off with the ball once, and that's what kind of made his game look bad. But it kind of shows you, hey, look, there is levels to this for those of you, watching.
Let me catch back up here. Louisiana Ball for 2 says put the house on next week before the line changes. Place your hard-earned money on Tennessee over NC State. Ethan Maxwell becomes a member. Also, Raiden Bolt becomes a member. Guys, we appreciate that. I can't tell you enough how much being a member of this channel helps us continue to drive forward with this show. Mark also becomes a member. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. Dakota has been a member for 12 months. Dim Barnyard Bill's been a member for 16 months. Says Jordan Ross is going to be a dude. Yeah, I'm going to give Kaner so much crap for Jordan Ross and his play today. I'm the one that brought that to the table, not Coach Jay. Mad Mopar Motorsports for 5 says Nico's play action game fooled me multiple times. Play action, middle of the field, just over and over and over. Man, I'm so fired up. We're gonna get into it. Want to get your comments. Dylan Elam's been a member for 26 months. Nico broke the first half passing record with 314. Last record was Tyler Bray 313 against Troy in 2012. Alex Gibson for 10. Glad to be back, baby. Been awaiting these call-in shows for months. Great to see the panel and a non-buffered Dauber. This team is it. It's the Nico era. Dauber's dialed in. He's ready to go. No more internet issues for Dauber. Billy Todd for 2. Number 8 is going to be special. Pecan for 5 says, will not be able to watch the stream, but glad to be back. Thank you, Pecan, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Trevor Hall's been a member for 10 months. Thank you for the support. Peyton K drops a 20 spot. That's Orange Boy. Orange Boys aren't cheap. We got to play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Peyton K says, door fee, guys, GBO. Thank you, Peyton. Very generous, man. It's $20 is not cheap, so we appreciate that super chat. Stevie J is a man of his word. Stevie J rolled in here. He rolled in here in the tailgate show, and he said, I will donate $100 to the channel for every Tennessee win. But money isn't everything. It's not everything around here. It's the only damn thing.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Stevie J with a hundo says the first of many to come. Man of his word. We appreciate you, Stevie J. That is not cheap. I appreciate you for the support and for hey man saying he's going to do this every week. Every time Tennessee wins, Stevie J is going to drop a hundo. We appreciate you, my man. Let's talk about this offense, Coach Jay. Let's talk about Nico. Again, 700 plus total yards, the most passing yards ever in a half by a quarterback. But let's talk about this because this is something that was a focal point this week. I made a video on it earlier in the week. We got into it on Friday morning when, Josh Apple saying we're going to open up this playbook. And then we heard J.D. Piquel say, when does Nico really come up to speed? And you said it's going to be a couple of weeks, guys. Let him get warmed up. Let him get his feet wet. We talked about this earlier. He was patient early in the game, took what he could get. D-Samp's running the ball well. That's obviously going to help you. When I saw the touchdown to Ethan Davis, second drive of the game, middle of the field in the red zone, that's when I was like, we are about to see what this offense can be. Then you see a deep middle to, I think it was Dante Thornton. And then you text me and say, Boogie, they're about to attack the outside. What do? The very next play. Like you text me and they're like, told you so. Told you so. What's this offense look like under Nico? What I sent to you was, man, not only is he dialed, but his ball location all day long. Just picture perfect, man. Just perfect. Letting guys go get it and not break their momentum, right? How many times did we see that a year ago? But talk about this offense.
It's going to be open back up, man. I feel like now we're all on the same page and we can talk. You know what I mean? Flat out. That's kind of what I feel like because I've been around Nico a little longer than the Tennessee fan base. So I feel like, all right, now we're on the same page. We can talk. And I stand by what I said. I don't think you guys have – I don't think we have. You have. I have. I don't think we've seen peak Nico yet. He gets better every time I see him. He doesn't look as comfortable as he did in high school yet. And I think he will get comfortable. You can tell he's still, moving a little faster than he should be, and he's really calm. So, I mean, I'm nitpicking here. But I think Nico can get a lot better. I think he will continue to get a lot better. I think he's going to be special quarterback, obviously. But you saw the offense open back up, and you saw what that, outside, inside seam, deep post offensive Heupel's can do when it's explosive is it opens up the run game, which Heupel's offense is predicated on anyways, right? So it's like Heupel passes to run, but it's also run first. It's kind of a mind F to think about. So it really does get you, but
it's all complimentary, right?
Yeah, and they spread the ball around, which I loved. I really do think they spread the ball around. I'd like to see 2 more series, obviously, after it. But I think Heupel looked at it like, hey, listen, let's end on a stuff to work on note for Nico, right? Let's leave him wanting to eat more, right? Like wanting more out there. I think there's more for Nico. I think Heupel knows it, and yeah, man, I think maybe that's why we didn't see him that extra 1 or 2 Joe Milton series. Not that we had blowouts like that under Milton, but yeah, I think 700 total yards of offense. And like I said, Nico does it quick when he does it in bunches. Heupel does it quick when his offenses are playing well in bunches. And I think you saw that on display here today.
Dude, they were cooking too, like speed-wise. They were snapping the ball so fast in those first few drives. But, Coach, I think you said it before. Like, they're not always gonna go that quick. Sometimes they're going to pump the brakes and slow down, and they don't have to just live on that. And we saw that. Go ahead, Dauber.
What I was going to say is, we can talk about all these lasers and dimes that Nico dropped and all these good things. I want to talk about an incomplete pass that really is what caught my eye. It was on the 6th drive. Ended up that was TD pass. That drive was a TD pass to Thornton, but right before that, there was a deep ball to Brazil.
Yeah,
and Nico was disappointed visibly because he missed him. He saw he missed him. He knew he missed him, and he knew that was on him.
Was that the play where the commentator said it looked like Brazil let up?
Stopped up, yeah.
I thought he got kind of I thought he got kind of not directly tangled, but sometimes when you got to kind of wiggle away a little in a direction from a defender, it caused a little hiccup. I think Nico would have been a little long on the ball regardless.
Yeah.
But it would have been much closer
But
had
to
that
me,
little stutter not happened. But yeah,
to
go ahead.
me, that's Nico showing that he wants every pass to be complete. And,
Yes.
and he knows as a quarterback, regardless of if the receiver let up, that ball was off, and it was off to him as the quarterback. So he's like, man, I missed one there.
Yeah,
that's on me. So that fire, that's what you want in the belly of the quarterback.
He completed almost 80% of his passes. Almost 80%.
And like I said, we can talk about all the dimes and lasers he threw and all the good stuff, but
he wants to be perfect. Love
that incomplete pass is more telling of
right.
the grit and determination and what your quarterback sees. And for him to see it on the field live in play and know, man, I missed one right there. Yeah. I left 7 on that play.
Yeah. Well, and it was only off by 3 to 5 yards versus 10 or 15, which we've seen in the past. And just daisy chaining off what y'all said, I had in big letters, this offense was much less predictable than it was in the last year. It didn't.
Dustin, real quick on that thought before you go on to your next thing. Is Joey Halsey an issue at Tennessee? Do we have a problem?
They got cleaned up real quick.
No.
Real quick.
And there was 2 factors that I thought was because of that. It was the timing, the speed, obviously, but the timing made the throws accurate. You know what I mean? It goes hand in hand. When he had that flow, that's when the slants across the middle were opening up and to the side and so on and so forth. But I had that it was much less choppy. And the other factor that I really liked was how much they used the running back in the passing game. Dylan Sampson's going to be an extra weapon, and we didn't even see Nico run hardly at all until things broke down. So there's 2 extra levels of advantages that we have just right there. And overall, just like I said, the execution up until the end of the first half there was really solid. And I love the overall running game across the board. Obviously, Dylan Sampson's had the bulk of the carries and looked the strongest, but Selden looked nice a few times as well.
Let me eat a little crow because I love nothing more. And it's not like I'm hating on a kid, but if I question something, if I say I'm not sure, I got to see it to believe it, right? And that's what I did with Deshaun Bishop because he's the guy that Heupel always talked about coming out of scrimmages. Of course, you go back to the spring, Cam Selden's hurt, Peyton Lewis is hurt. He's talking about Deshaun Bishop is the first name out of his mouth after every scrimmage. Same thing in fall camp. And I kept going back to it, man. Look, it is what it is. When you sit down to make your commitment and you got 3 hats on the table, one's Tennessee, one's App State, and one's Coastal Carolina, one of those programs is a little bit more elite than the other 2. So that was a big question mark for me. And what a story. What a story, because Deshaun Bishop, in-state kid, there was rumors that maybe he walks on to Tennessee because that's how bad he wants to play here. What does he do in the opener? And again, we get it. I understand it's Chattanooga. 5 carries, 60 yards and a touchdown. Average 12 yards per carry. But what I loved is that touchdown. I think it was in the second half, maybe second quarter, third quarter, can't remember. And I tweeted about it because he was so patient, man. He did not look like a young running back. He looked like a veteran running back that just chill, let my block set up, and then let's get north and south. And he got in the end zone. And he ran hard. He ran physical. This coaching staff has praised him for his pass protection, which is a question mark for young running backs. I think we got a good one in Deshaun Bishop, boys, and I'm ready to eat crow and say, let's go. Let's get behind an in-state kid, man.
And Dauber, I don't know what you picked up on, but obviously all 3 or really all 4 running backs have different, skill sets, I think. But if you watch them, it was hard to tell who was running sometimes because they all had those nice traits of like 1/1000, then we're gone. There was a little bit of patience and then gone. So I really love to see that, Dauber.
Yeah, I liked a lot of north-south. It wasn't a lot of dancing in the backfield, east-west. It was, put your foot in the ground and get upfield. And yeah, I mean, I think all 4 guys, when they got their opportunity and chance, they were getting after it. And that's, I said Wednesday, I think one of the things that sets this team apart is it's a lot of guys that are selfless. It's a lot of guys that, they're not necessarily worried about having to get 10, 15 carries and it's next man up. They're just as happy when the brother scores a touchdown. It's, you got to love to see, teammates like that. They're pulling just as hard for you as you are for them on the sideline. And it's pretty good.
Dauber's got a 5-star heart. We thought we had it fixed. We don't have it fixed. We'll continue to work like heck and get better. We'll put forth a 63 effort, 5-star heart. We'll figure it out. It wouldn't be Talkin VAWLS if Dauber's internet didn't take a dump. Let me catch up with you guys, though. Christopher Welch drops a 10 spot, says, how about Merck drive and score? That's our third everything. Look clean. Nico's first game in Neyland broke the first half record. Dauber, Nico is the cure for your battered VAWLS syndrome. I thought we said that Heupel was the cure, and then that went right out the door because, we only won 9 games a year ago, and that's not good enough. But yeah, that Jake Merklinger drive late, 17 plays, 80 yards. They ate up 7 minutes of clock, and then Merck ended the day 4-4, 35 yards. No, I really wish, and again, I get it. I'm with Hype for letting Gassimore go out there and play because that's a guy that's going to be on this coaching staff. Get ready. He's going to be on this coaching staff sooner rather than later. But I really wish we could have seen Merck go out there and take advantage and sling it around. But I fully support what Coach Heupel did. Got a couple of more members here. Guys, cannot thank you enough. We need these memberships. I got a goal. Let's go get it. Let's go get that goal. Let's chase it down. Tyler Adams becomes a member of the channel. Kevin Blackwell also becomes a member of the channel. Nikki Beeler becomes a member of the channel. And Alpa Kane 10 becomes a member of the channel. Guys, you can hit that join button. It's $1. We also do a fan call-in show every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We do a fan call-in show every Saturday, an hour before kickoff. We had a man have a heart attack on the pregame show. But he bounced back, he responded, and he got fired up. That's what the members get to do. We usually send the link out to Talkin VAWLS Elite or higher, and then we go down. But if you just want to support the channel, if you like the videos, the live streams, the content, the community, whatever it is you like, the memberships, man, that's how we get the opportunity to do this full time. That's how the Monday morning show with Kaner, the Friday morning show with Coach Jay, it's all because you members that support this channel all year long. Ben Melching also becomes a member of the channel. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Speaking of heart attacks, Ron the Don for 2 says Nico is I don't even know what is he drunk or do I not know how to read? Dustin, do you know what that says?
Shahalud. I don't know.
The Quasar's Hatterack till Shaluda comes.
Yes, thank God.
Okay.
Thank God for Coach Jay. Jesse Gates also becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate you. Joel drops a 20 spot. You guys already know the deal. That's Orange Boy. We play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Joel says, hey, Boogie, any chance we could do a Talkin VAWLS meetup for the Florida game? I'm going to be taking my new wife to her first UT game for Checker Neyland. We'll go have fun. Jump into the Facebook group and see if some of you Talkin VAWLS guys can get together and tailgate. Like, why not? I can't be there. Because I will be here doing a post-game show. But maybe, I would love nothing more than to see a big, meet and greet and the Talkin VAWLS faithful hanging out together. But you guys have fun. Enjoy the game. It's going to be a dub. Jeff Puckett for 10. Taking out Nico would be your MVP today. What does that mean?
Like taking him out of the game early? Maybe. I don't know.
I never know what is going on. I never know what's going on around here, and I'm sorry, but I appreciate the super chat, Jeff. Alex Gibson for 5. Nico was flawless. How does that change with pressure? I don't I think there's a little pressure going out, starting in your first game ever inside of Neyland Stadium. And he looked cool as the other side of the pillow. He went out, dominated, set records. He was basically perfect, like you said. So I think Nico's ready for pressure. I think when you're the number one player in the country, you know what pressure is. And I think Nico will be ready for it.
Yeah.
Brady's been a member for 10 months. Keith drops a 50 spot. You guys know we got to do it. I don't care about money, but
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Keith drops a 50 and says Dorfy GBO. Shout out, Keith. We appreciate the super chat. Dustin, go ahead. Talk. I know you wanted to say something there about the pressure and Nico.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say that I don't know if they meant like mental pressure or like physical pressure on the field, but there was a couple of times where things did collapse and he still managed to wiggle out and get 4 or 5 yards. We didn't have that last year. I think when Joe got frazzled, he kind of just would tuck and go, tuck and just kind of fall over. So I like that. Another big note that I had and we haven't touched on yet was I love the tight end rotation in the first half. I thought that was a nice little wrinkle to keep throwing defenses curveballs because, I mean, they have different skill sets as well. I loved what we saw from Ethan Davis. And there was a couple of, passes that woulda, coulda, shoulda with Holden Stays, but I liked where he was, and I think that's again another wrinkle in this offense. We know how valuable the tight ends are to this offense, so the more they can progress and fill in those gaps, it's huge.
Okay, I think Bob has got some clarification for me on what that super chat was about. He says if Nico is clearly the MVP, so if you take him out of the running, who would be your MVP for this game? I think you got to go Dylan Sampson. 12 carries, 124 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaged 10 yards a carry. He also, like Dustin said earlier, also made some plays through the air. Trying to find where's he at? What did he do through the air? 3 catches for 29 yards. But again, just that swing pass, right?
Yes,
when you have to live and die, when you live and die with that swing pass, it doesn't work. But when you can throw the swing pass, or you can hit Ethan Davis over the middle, or you can run a read option or some RPOs and get Nico involved in the run game, when you can look out there and go, oh, I got a little quick hitter to Brew McCoy for a guaranteed 5 yards. Dauber, all of a sudden, this offense is very dangerous.
Oh, big time. You look across the board, and we ran down everybody Wednesday, and it's position group to position group. They're all kind of stacked. And Dustin hit it in his opening comments. The drop off between your ones and your twos and you guys that are subbing in, it's getting smaller. So that's the thing. We don't necessarily just have to rely on 6 or 7 guys. You've got a whole set of different position groups of studs, and I mean you think of Heupel's offense, and when it's clicking, and then you think of all these options that you have. You can spread the ball around, and I think Coach Jay said earlier, it's really run to set up the pass, but I think you can flip it. Nico can be the dude, and he can pass to set up that run and open that up for your running backs. And I mean, it's hand in hand, and it really is pick your poison. How are you going to game plan to stop this offense? Because there are so many weapons. And somebody said it earlier, Nico really didn't even, intentionally by design run the ball today. And that's a whole nother level that you've got to scheme for.
Yeah. And Coach Jay, I'll toss it up to you, but I'm no super X's and O's guys, but there's a difference between the screen passes that they throw on the far side that we're used to seeing versus the swing pass from the running back, because that little wrinkle, like Boogie said, just opens up so much more for a defense to have to worry about, because if most of the time when there's a pass, he's back there protecting, but the minute that you can stall a defense and sneak him out to the flat and throw that little dump off to somebody like Dylan Sampson, it really does open up so much.
Yeah, it stretches your linebacker out of the box when you run that swing pass. And God, not to give up the goat, but what's coming off of it is faking that swing pass and and running that quarterback draw up the middle, right? So you're going to get all that kind of action off of it. I think they were trying to keep the middle honest a little today with the shovel pass. I thought Cam Selden would have scored on that shovel pass. I did not run out of it.
Spun the wrong
Oh
way.
my gosh!
You know, one of my notes for this game is it could have been worse. Dauber brought up the Brazil play, from Nico, and I'm not talking about the late passes from Moore that could have been touchdowns. I'm talking about when Nico was in the game. It could have been worse. Brazil, that pass right there, the shovel pass to Cam Selden comes into mind. One thing that stuck out to me in this game, guys, there were a couple, and I said it before too. When this team last year, and even Hendon's year to a degree, when this team got a false start or a chop block or a holding call, it was death to this offensive drives. There were 3 times this game that our offense would have stalled out the previous years, that we were able to figure it out and pick up a first down at least. Not all those. I think one of those drives ended the touchdown. The other 2 didn't. But at least we were picking up first downs after the fact. I thought that was kind of an interesting wrinkle.
The fourth drive had a couple penalties and ended in a field goal.
Right.
That's what I put in my
they got points.
Got points. Yeah.
They were back inside the 20 when they started because of that, though, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a drive that started deep in their territory. They drove down and then it stalled out field goal.
One thing, like I hated at the end of the first half, right? Because it's a 2-minute drill. It's a good opportunity. It's good live fire to go out there. All right, 2-minute drill, and that's when the chop block came in, and they had 1st and 25. But I thought Dauber was going to talk about this earlier when he was talking about the throw from Nico that was an overthrow. What I liked is they're not scared, man. They are not scared. It's 1st and 25. You're backed up. Things didn't go the way you wanted because you got the penalty. A year ago, we would have ran it, and we would have gone to the locker room and been happy. They tried to throw it. Nico got sacked, and guess what? It's 2nd and 29, deep in your own territory. What does Heupel do? He goes out there. They jump off sides. Nico's smart enough to go, I got a free play, and he throws this is what I thought, because it was a dime. It was a dime to Holden. It was Holden Stace was the only guy on the field that had a shot to make that catch, but it was a little overthrown. But just again, football IQ to realize I've got a free play. Let's not run out of bounds. Let's not run out of bounds when you got a free play. Let's take a shot. Even though he was covered, he took a shot down the middle of the field, and that drive didn't go anywhere. 3rd and 23, they run Selden, and you go in the locker room up 45-0. But I did make a note about that one drive you were talking about that stalled out. It was the drive before that one. A lot of people have been asking me, Boogie, who's going to kick field goals? I'm like, I don't know. I don't freaking care. I'm not paying attention to that. But you got an opportunity to see Max Gilbert, and he nailed home a 36-yard field goal, and he nailed home a 42-yard goal.
Yeah.
That's valuable, Dustin. That's valuable to see what that looks like in week 1.
Yeah, because we didn't know what that was going to look like. Obviously, this is a small sample size, but I had in my notes that overall, I think there was 1 special teams penalty, but other than that, like special teams look solid as we expected to be. We're super hungry. That's a good opportunity to get a lot of non-starters on the field to make some plays, and we saw that at the very end of the game, which is great.
Yeah, I want to bring up one quick.
What are we playing? Horseshoes, Matt? What are we doing?
Yeah, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Last time I checked, but listen, there is a special teams gripe I have. Me and Tom were talking about this earlier, and we're kind of both thinking the same thing. I do not like Jermon McCoy going back and returning punts, and I'll tell you why. It's not because I don't think Jermon McCoy can return punts. I think he can. But with Ricky Gibson a little banged up and Jordan Matthews is the other corner, I don't like the idea of him getting hurt back there. You know what I mean? I really don't like that. I think for that reason, I almost like Squirrel back there because at least we're deep at wide receiver, right? Like if you think about even Boo playing back there right now, Boo gets hurt, we're awfully thin at star all of a sudden.
Yep.
So I don't like that either necessarily.
And I agree with Z-Flex. Squirrel looked the best, I thought, at punt.
Yeah. Do you think they're not settled back there yet? Do you think this was kind of like trial by fire and see if there was any magic that happens? Because
I think they put him back there.
Was it last year? Or it was automatic D Williams every time. Was last year or the year before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year.
So yeah. I mean, to me, it looked like they're like just kind of testing the water and seeing what kind of fit there. And you're right. Squirrel probably had the best opportunity and the best return.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I like what you just said there, though, Coach Jay. Like Boo is who I want back there. Speaking of Boo Carter,
sure.
How good does he? How good does he look blitzing from that star position?
Yeah, I had Boo. I had Boo in capital letters. Instinctive. There's a natural ability there to see ball, get ball. There was no hesitation. So that's huge on our back end, as we know. It's kind of the one variable that we weren't sure about so far.
You know, and it's one thing to talk about it in high school. Like, he was so confident in that playoff game I watched that he's walking down. He's playing safety. And he's walking down to the line of scrimmage like nobody's going to beat me over the top. I don't care what y'all do. Y'all, like, I'm better than you. Like, the confidence. And he's a true freshman out there. He looked good. Every time somebody came from that star position, I'm like, who is that? Oh, it's Boo. Here he comes again. Go ahead, Coach.
There's some Eric Berry tendencies. I don't want to jump the guns. But tendencies there.
Me and Coach Rice.
He's not the size yet, but that instinctiveness to just like go straight into the play without hesitating is huge. Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, since you were brought up blitzing, I thought we'd talk about pressure today, since I know James Pierce is a topic in the chat. And the Leo position overall, I know Joseph's looked good at times, but when Pierce was in there, he really was just, and it was like every third series Pierce was in there, by the way. I don't know if everyone caught that, but he didn't play a lot today. And when they did play him, it was always like maintaining gap integrity football. They never let him pin his ears back like you saw Caleb Herring do. I thought he looked good when they let him pin his ears back, his third string. But I kind of thought they kept Pierce playing, not only vanilla but gap integrity football. I thought they really brought the most pressure this side off the defensive end side, which was obviously apparent. And what you saw out of West today, really rushing with a lot of aggression and picking up where he picked off from I said that backwards, but anyway, picking up where he left off at the Iowa Bowl game. I thought West looked good coming off that weak side.
Yeah, he had me fired up coming out of that bowl game, and it's a guy that when I was on with Kaner on Friday morning for Locked On Vols, that's he asked me about a young guy, and I was like, it feels like Tyree West is a young guy. He's a freaking junior. He's a junior, but that's how deep we are at defensive line. And I was just saying, man, I'm ready for him to take that step. Of course, Tyler Barron transfers out, and it's like, I don't know that we're going to – is it skip a beat or miss a beat? It's skip a beat, right? I thought Tyree West had the opportunity to be that dude. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. We got 560-some people watching live. Help us out. Smash the thumbs up. Share out the link. Let somebody know about Talkin VAWLS. If you guys love the channel, call somebody up that's a Tennessee fan and say, man, you should go listen to these psychotic – passionate Tennessee fans. They're just like us. They say the same things that we say. Come get dialed in. We're almost to 27,000 subscribers, so we appreciate you guys tuning in. Wade drops a $2 super chat. Says it's going to be a hell of a year, boys. Go Vols. Nico equal dude. Grant Sims drops a $5 super chat, but doesn't say anything. Just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate you, Grant. Thank you for the support, my friend. Joel for 5. Of course, we scored 69. LOL. LOL. Joel says 69. LOL. Hondo T for 5. I freaking hate Georgia. Vols did just fine today.
Okay.
I mean, can we start talking about how much? Is it too early?
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
None, not a single freaking one. Retro, you owe me $200. Jeff Puckett becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Jeff. We appreciate your support. Keep those memberships coming. I got a goal. I want to hit that goal. If we hit that goal, maybe I'll give away something crazy like 5 Talkin VAWLS t-shirts. Dan Yoder drops a $5 super chat. Says, Boogie, how about your boy Tyree West today? He was flashing out there. Yeah, it's like patting myself on the back. Maybe sometimes I'm right, Not to the extent of Coach Jay. I'm pretty sure he was smoking a cigar in the first quarter saying, I told y'all. I told y'all. Blackout Jones for 2 says we left at 38-0. It was blazing out there. Hashtag GBO. Appreciate you, Blackout Jones. Vols Girl drops a $5 super chat. Y'all were right. Joe never, ever looked like that. And Laycock saved us from giving them a touchdown. Go Vols. Yeah, that was something that I had in my notes. And we'll get into the young guys here in just a little bit. But that hustle play from Laycock, the game's over. There's nothing on the line.
Yeah.
And just a hustle play to track somebody down from behind. I love it. Shout out to Jenny for the super chat. Big Trey for 2. Dorfy, congrats on the start of this epic ride. Tune in, dial in, get ready, boys, because it's going to be a special year. Cody Copeland gifts 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. 5 of you guys. It's like Oprah Winfrey. You get a free membership. Michael Chandler Keaton gets a free membership. Samantha didn't get a free membership. Beauregard gets a free membership. Jacob Thomas gets a free membership. Everybody getting a free membership. Thank you, Cody. Kevin becomes a member of the channel as well. Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it. Cody Copeland for 10. Boogie, you lost the bet. But for that dub, I'll still give 5. What bet? Did I make a bet with somebody?
You lost. Pay up.
Coach Jay is on every time the red light comes on. Coach Jay's here, and he's like, I don't even know what we're talking about. What was the bet?
I don't know. I just know you lost and you got to pay up. But
he says I'll still gift 5. So he gifted the membership. I never know what the hell's going on around here. Who runs this place? I have no idea. I never know what's going on. Let's keep talking about the defense. You know, Coach Jay was talking about James Pierce. You know, Tyree West, that dude. Shout out Jamal Wallace. Dude, Jamal getting to make a play, getting in there, making a play.
Thank you.
I was like, let's go. I texted my wife. I was like, my little boy's growing up. Jamal made a play. She's like, oh, you're such a loser. But man, Coach Jay, you can speak on it. Like when these guys come on and you get to know them, you form relationships. I'm sure it's not to the same extent as guys that you coach, but man, it's just fun seeing Jamal get out there, getting an opportunity. They recruited him for 2025, not 2024.
It's good when you see good kids doing this. Like I can't remember who was the last kid that committed to us, the cornerback that we just got last. I can't remember right now.
Your man Otis One Kenobi.
Yeah, Otis One Kenobi. I couldn't grasp his name. But what Jeannie bringing up Nathan Laycock, you know, when we broke down film of him when he committed, I showed a play of him running down a play he shouldn't have ran down from backside cornerback, like 85 yards, and it was beautiful. And I was like, man, this encapsulates everything Heupel does. He commits good kids, and all these kids we've gotten to interview, man, you can't help but to root for them. They're just outstanding freaking people. I remember back in the day, Butch Jones was like, I want to recruit competitive guys. Well, Heupel's recruiting great human beings who are also freaking ballers, and I love it, man. It's part of that culture. But my number one thing on the defense today was the oars. Everyone made fun of the oars in the depth chart. It was earned on the defense, man. Because I'll tell you what, every single one of those oars on that defense played. You saw Caleb Beasley out there. You saw everyone. You name him.
He got picked on a little bit.
Yeah, he got picked on. But
that's good. He's a freshman.
He needs it.
Yes.
He needs it.
Agreed.
He needs it. You saw all that. You saw the depth. And we played vanilla. We didn't give out the goat. But it was, like I said, it was that tasty Ben and Jerry's, that good vanilla. It wasn't the store-bought stuff. It might have been a little bit Neapolitan. It tasted good. I thought we were a little soft sometimes, still playing a little too far off at the cornerback position. But it might have just been the game. I thought when we played tight, when we played an inch technique or press, I thought we broke up a lot of passes, and McCoy and Matthews looked good in that situation, and probably the smart thing to do to rest McCoy in hindsight.
Yeah, there were some easy pitches and catches, and I think you get to better teams, and that's where, you know, you give them easy pitches and catches, and they shake one move, and it's a big hitter, big gain. But I think you were. Like you said, I think you're kind of playing it safe with being thin in the back half of the defense, and you really got guys kind of filling out and still battling for a couple of those spots. So, I mean, it's good to see. You got what you expected from the front seven. I mean, those guys, and I said Wednesday. I think your front seven is going to hide some deficiencies or inexperience on that back end. How about Peely at linebacker? Good to have him out there.
Good.
Making the calls, getting everybody. Another guy that we've not talked about is T-Lander.
Yeah.
I think T-Lander played well.
Him and AC both look good. Him and Gary and Carter look good when they played out there together. I thought T-Lander looked great against the run. I thought he's elite whenever he blitzes. I think he still needs to work on his flat game. I picked on him a little bit out of high school, out of getting to his flats a little bit quicker. It's like some linebackers, I don't know what it is, but it's like they see that flat and they see it and they go, but it's like you need to feel that coming and go. And he's not quite there yet, but I think he's getting closer to it. It's sped up a lot from where he was with it last year. So I think he's getting better at it and he's close to solving it. But I want a little bit better flat attack out of him.
But again,
he looked great. Yeah.
Right? He's a sophomore.
Yeah.
He's a sophomore. And Caleb Beasley, like you said, like I was like, dang, Caleb Beasley's getting picked on, but he's also a freshman, and it's like you said, it
should be.
It's good for him. That's how he grows and gets better. Go ahead, Dustin.
I was going to say, yeah, my three names. This is mostly from the first half before they started rotating a lot, but my three big names on defense that stood out a lot to me was T-Lander, Joshua Josephs, and Tyree West. I thought they had the three best games overall. I think Peely's presence may not showed up in tackles and execution quite yet, but the leadership on there I think was much cleaner. And then my one negative on the negative column was and Coach Jay or whoever can speak to this, but it was the RPO defense, kind of the quick play action, and then kind of to the middle or to the slight middle of the side of the field where they were able to kind of march down the field a couple times there. So, but that kind of you already addressed that a little bit.
Yeah, the flats. It seemed like they were surrendering them. It seemed like they were surrendering them.
Yeah, it's that instinctive first step that's not quite there yet. But I mean, overall, like I said, it goes back to the depth. There was not much drop off. We didn't have the ball thrown over our head all day. I really like that. And just, the relentlessness, we still stayed solid on the run game. I mean, to hold the team, even like Chattanooga, to less than 100 yards of total offense, where we need to be, baby.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You gotta look, and this defensive line is so deep that it's like late in the third quarter, and it's like, where were the backups? Well, these are the backups because the defensive line is so freaking deep. But you look at that first half, like you said, less than 100 yards, 83 yards of total offense. Are we really going to complain about 83 yards of total offense? And we're going to nitpick and talk about this guy and that guy. I think our starting corners are really good. I think Boo Carter has the opportunity to be really good. I still question the safeties, and I said I'm going to do my best to not go after Will Brooks. He's not very good. He's slow. It is what it is, man. And I think I texted JB texted me right towards the end of the game. And he was concerned, as typically, we could win 175 to nothing. He's like, I don't know, Boogie. Nico looked pretty good, but I'm worried about the defense. He said he was worried about the tackles and he was worried about the secondary. I thought our starting corners looked pretty good. I thought Boo Carter looked pretty good. I'm worried about Turrentine and I'm worried about Will Brooks. I sent back to JB, something's going on with Jacoby Thomas, because when you saw him late in the game, when he broke on that play and he broke that up, he looks faster. He looks more athletic. One of the things I talked about when he transferred was his pass breakups. Like, that's a key stat to me. It's not I'm in the area and you overthrew it or you dropped it. No, that's me going and making a play. I think he seems – I think, Will Brooks had more tackles. Why? Because he wasn't covering and guys were open. You don't want your safety to be your leading tackler. I want a linebacker to be a leading tackler. I don't want my safety to be a leading tackler. There were so many times that I was like, who was that? Oh, it was Will Brooks. Shocker. Who was that? Will Brooks. It was either Will Brooks or Caleb Beasley when I said, who was that? So am I picking on him? Maybe a little bit. I think that is the weakness of our defense, is both safeties. And it's not just Will Brooks. It's also Andre Turrentine. Coach Shea, tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, it's the thing I've been concerned about most of this team. I'm not worried about our cornerbacks. I think they showed when they played tight that they can be there. I want to see the safety still when we've dialed it up a little. Like, once again, that was really vanilla today. I do agree with you. I think Jacoby is the better option there. And maybe it's that obviously we've got really good wide receivers, right? And a really good quarterback. It's really easy to see someone as aggressive as Jacoby getting toasted a couple times and looking bad and making a mistake when he's new in a defense. So maybe he just needs to get some film against a little less crazy of an offense and get a little more trust from the coaches. Once again, I don't want to judge anyone too much when it was as vanilla as we saw. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. And I don't think they need excuses with as little of yardage as they held Chattanooga too, but it was vanilla. So, look, we're fanatics, so we're going to nitpick, right? And it's been an issue for Tennessee, so we're going to nitpick. But I do understand the nitpick, and I do understand the concern because I think it is a little bit of a concern. But we'll see.
I mean, that's the thing. Somebody in the chat said it's Chattanooga. Dang, calm down. Look, we're going to talk about what we talk about. I don't care if they play the School of the Blind from Western California. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to break it down. I said right before I went after Will Brooks, I said we gave up 83 yards in the first half. How could anybody be mad about that? I'm not mad about anything. This game went about as perfect as you could possibly ask it to go. I'm riding a high. I think Nico is him. I think this defense is going to be better than people think. But do I have a concern? Do I have anything? What stood out to me? Yeah. Will Brooks stands out to me. I'm having a general's quarters meltdown. I told Eric Kane this week on Locked On Balls that I wasn't panicking. I'm not panicking like the general's quarters. Coming out of the game, I said, what's wrong with Will Brooks? He's awful. So maybe I am having a panic attack. Nomad Ball gifted 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. Shout out Nomad Ball. We appreciate it. Let's hit that goal. Make Boogie give away a bunch of free shirts. Michael Wilson also does the same, gifted 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. Y'all going crazy. I love it. The memberships keep the lights on around here. Stacy Breeden becomes a member of the channel. You guys want to get in where you fit in, hit the join button. You get custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. What more would you want? And being able to post Dauber's face as an emoji. We got to get a Dustin. We got to get a Dustin emoji. He's the only guy that comes on regularly, but he's an in-season guy, and I think that's why he gets disrespected. I think that's what it is.
Who's disrespecting me?
That's true.
No, I don't think anybody. I think the four of us. I think the four of us have great chemistry for the post game. I love it. I love letting Dustin come on it. Look, Coach Rice. Even my wife was hating on Dustin. Not really, not on Dustin. She was like, "How are you not letting Coach Rice on the post game?" She's like, "He's on with you all the time." And I was like, "I love Coach Rice, but I have to balance. We got so many people that contribute, and it's like I need Coach Rice. I need Coach Rice on Wednesday. It's not about gatekeeping him from the post game show. My wife calling me out. She's like, "How are you going to disrespect Coach Rice?" Oh gosh, Cody Copeland for 5. I bet you I'd buy 10 subs if you picked the top wide receiver of the game. You picked Squirrel. I'm an idiot, Cody. I'm an idiot. I guess I owe you $5, but I'm getting more money. What are you talking about? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Drop another super chat and let me know what you're talking about. Shout out, Cody. We appreciate you, brother. Coach Rice for 2. See, I figured. I can't wait to talk about this team and game. I'm sorry, Coach Rice.
I was like, don't worry, Coach Rice will have plenty to say tomorrow night. Don't anyone needs
I'm going to hold him back tomorrow night. I'm going to hold him back tomorrow night. I'll be like, shut up. Save it for Wednesday.
Come in on Wednesday like a caged animal, man. I'd be careful.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should
tearing down walls.
We should ban him from the fan call-in show and make him sit out till Wednesday.
Man, you're going to get us all beat up.
They call it talking season. We finally got something to talk about. So everybody's just like opening the floodgates of things to say.
Everybody wants to talk.
Yeah, you got to balance it out.
I do. We got so many great people that contribute to this channel. Samantha for 5. I was so happy for Brew. Didn't look worried at all about his past injury. GBO. Yeah, shout out Brew McCoy. Let me see. What did he end up with? God, it seemed like he had a lot of catches. 6 catches for 88 yards. I would have loved to see him get in the end zone. Little short. Kivin's 100%. Kivin's yellow golf ball for 5. I know it's Chattanooga, but if we don't rotate at wide receiver, how do you not put Thornton and Brazil on the field at the same time? Hashtag Nico. Oh, come on. I'm not reading that. Kiffin's yellow golf ball, but I appreciate the super chat. I think we're definitely going to see a rotation at wide receiver. I think that's definitely happening. Tucker White for 5. Some thoughts. Nico got Heisman hype. Tennessee should blow out this Florida team for once in my life. That's spinning the tires against Miami. What's the score right now? Let's see. Let's go
17-10.
17.
Florida just had a big. They were down 17-3. Florida had like a 60-70 yard run. But
how about Vanderbilt beating Virginia Tech? Not that I'm pulling for Vanderbilt. I think it's absolutely hilarious that Virginia Tech lost. All right, we got almost 500 people still hanging out with us. Do me a favor. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise. I got to do some shills and plugs, guys. I got to. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. When you forget that link, it's in the description of every video. It's in the description of every live stream. We got this brand new VWO shirt, Vol World Order, because if you're talking Vols, you're talking Vols for life. See how I changed the color? You can go pick whatever color you want. You can pick whatever style. If you're like Coach Jay and you got the guns and you want to show them off in the California sun, you can get a tank top. But again, bonfire.com/store/talking balls. We got a shirt that says Cruton with Boogie and the coaches, because that's what we do all off season long. Lurker shirts. If you're in the chat right now, you never talk, you never speak, you just watch the videos, you don't hit the thumbs up. You can go buy a shirt that says Lurker. Let people know. Knoxville, Tennessee, checkerboard theme, the chosen one. We should sell a lot of these today. The chosen one with an 8-ball emoji, Colt of 8. If you know, you know, get in where you fit in. Talking Balls letter theme shirts, Colt member shirts. If you're offensive, if you like to offend people, FUGA, Gator Hater, and Buck Famine. But we also have Beat Bama, Beat Georgia, Beat Florida. It's all there. We're Kentucky's daddy as well. Bonfire.com/store.
Let's see those TriStars. Let's see those TriStars again. That's what they wore today.
Oh my gosh, I went right by those TriStar shirts. Are clean. Everybody sells a TriStar shirt. I'm like, why should we not just sell a TriStar shirt? So we got one.
Yeah,
we got a TriStar
great.
shirt.
They're great, and they matched today's uniforms, which I thought were pretty cool. A little,
how clean it is.
It was interesting to open up the season with those, but aside from that, I thought they were solid for sure.
But I get it. I mean, I think that the team picked, and I think you're playing an in-state team.
Yeah.
So it's a nod to, the subtle little touches, the stripe on the helmet and the pants that match up to the state flag. That's good stuff right there.
And I know that's such a small thing, but just the cool factor with this staff right now and how they're getting the kids to buy in, man. We're finally in the 20th century or whatever the hell we're in, like it's like 21st century. You know,
am I licensed to sell what? Am I licensed to sell a shirt with an 8-ball emoji? I don't think an 8-ball emoji is copyrighted. Pretty sure.
But I just love how, that's a small thing, but like I said, it just speaks on how this staff is relating to players, and I think that's in a nutshell a big reason why we've had some success with getting some good kids to buy into the program.
I'll throw this out here. Big news this week: Danny White gets a contract extension and all that. And then I noticed
and Coach
in game, somebody tweeted a picture of the son at Danny White. Hey, we got to do something about this. And he said, we're working on it. It'll be gone by this afternoon.
Danny White is going to delete the sun from existence.
He's going
he has the power.
He's going to make it set, but just his interaction with the fan base, with Vol Twitter, the things he's done. We talked about the trajectory of this program. The guy gets it. And this athletic department is in a spot that it's, I would almost dare say that even in the best of times, we're getting close to where we were in the, late 90s, early 2000s, in the heyday for football, because Coach Heupel and company have football. They're tracking right along, but you've got, Tony V with baseball. I want to see Pappy Barnes get in with some basketball. Danny White, man. This is it's everybody's rowing the boat in the same direction, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that across the board we're sitting at the top right now as far as major sports go. I think I posted something, after we won the championship in baseball about, you haven't done it in football in forever, and basketball falls short. But to be in the top 5, 10 in all these big sports for the last 2 or 3 years, the culmination of what's changed in the AD department, and just the doing away with the fossils, doing away with the let's see what happens mentality shit. Pardon my French. Just like it
feels like a Tuesday night.
It's night and day different. You can just feel the difference, and we have so much more to be proud of, and that's just huge to me.
Let me catch up on a couple of more super chats real quick. Cody Copeland for 10 says, LMAO. I just made a bet last college football 25 stream with you that if you could pick the top wide receiver. He's doing it again? He's doing it again. You big squirrel, you lost, but I gifted 5 anyway because The game went well. LOL. Shout out Cody. Cody's dropped 2 super chats now to explain himself. We love you, Cody. Knox Predator catcher for 2. How about Nico on that bobbled snap gaining yards? Let me tell you something. I got a little worried because he came up holding his left shoulder, and then he had a couple of throws that were off after that. But then I saw people on Twitter saying that he was warming up on the sidelines before halftime. So I think Nico is going to be just fine.
Was that when he did?
Yes.
He did that.
And it was his non-throwing arm.
Yeah.
But they said he was warming up before the half. I don't know. Hopefully it's nothing. Bleed Orange says, and here's 5 for Dauber's interwebs. Appreciate you, Bleed Orange. Orange Sea Line for 2. Milton would have scored 80. Oh, Gary, Coach Jay, Gary has to eat all those things he said last year when you were talking about Nico. Gary's never going to come on a fan call-in show again because you will destroy him. How are you muted? You're not muted on the thing. Oh, you are muted on the thing. There you go.
I was just going to say, man, I love Gary. Gary got on here, pushed back last year. And you know what? To a degree, at times, was Milton that bad? Like, I don't know. He wasn't Nico, right? He wasn't generational, but he's an NFL quarterback. And sometimes you got to be proud of the kids that give their all for Tennessee, right? And Milton stuck around, and it's easy to throw darts. Hell, I throw them every day, right? Mm-hmm. And he wasn't perfect, but I'm proud of Joe Milton. I think he played his tail off. He just came up short, and sometimes that's okay. Sometimes that's acceptable when you give it all. And Gary pushed back, I think, at times, and I respect the hell out of him for it. So I'll take him on this show anytime.
I've said it a million times. I love that a disappointment to us and a failure to us is winning 9 games and Joe Milton getting drafted and making a roster in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I'll take that failure 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Let's see. Doug Shelton becomes – hold on. Sit on that thought, Dustin. I'll come back to you. Doug Shelton becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that, brother. Bleed Orange drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip if I can find it.
Rocky Top!
Bleed Orange says, I wasn't too far off with my prediction tailgate earlier of 70-0 for the good guys. LOL. Lol. Dorothy. GBO. Shout out Bleed Orange. Yeah, 69-3. You went 70-0. That ain't a bad prediction. Michelle drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
I would never speak like this, but I'm going to pretend that I'm saying this. What is the best? What is the best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their fans. I would never speak like that, but shout out to the lurker. Shout out to Michelle. We appreciate the super chat. Austin Murray also becomes a member of the channel. Guys, thank you so much. The memberships are rolling in. It is football time in Tennessee. We appreciate it. Go ahead, Dustin. You had a thought, and then we're going to tie a big fat bow on this week 1.
Oh, I was just going to say that, we got a little spoiled because of the 22 season, and as far as Joe Milton goes. And so that was going to be huge shoes to fill up with. But if we hadn't had Hendon Hooker, Milton would have been the second coming of Jesus compared to what we, had before. So I was just going to say, in spite of that, he had big shoes to fill, and he was never going to be the same player as Hendon. He had his own set of, skill set and all that. And I think all of us wish him the best. And now it's time to look to the future, and I think it's a bright one.
Yeah, I'll add on that, and then we can head in the direction you want to go and wrap up. I think we can move forward, quit looking in the rear view. The offense was different with Joe Milton, and I think the staff understood, and they knew. You saw that evidenced in the play calling today. Mm-hmm. The play calling was different than it was in the bowl game when Nico started, and that's because they've had the entire offseason to instill an offense designed for Nico and Nico's skill set. So I think, and I'll stand by this. There were at times last year when Nico would have been the better quarterback to be on the field, but I do think in the long run, Nico maybe would have won one more game last year. I think it will serve him best that he sat on the sideline, was able to grow and watch and get that knowledge without getting, beat up and banged up. You've got a veteran offensive line Not a deep offensive line, but you've got a veteran offensive line, and you've got skilled players all around him. And I think this season is set up for him to succeed. So I think, hats off to Joe. Thank you for what you did last year, but there's no sense in dogpiling on him. We're moving forward.
I guarantee you, Joe Milton was watching today with a huge smile on his face.
Absolutely.
Loving every bit of it.
They're brothers.
10 seconds, really quick, maybe 20, but I would be remiss if I didn't brought it up because people asked about it. I thought Hurd on the O-line looked good on the run. I thought him and Campbell both looked out of fighting shape, kind of like they talked about with NC State's offensive line. Today, I think they need some more time. They didn't hit a lot, didn't play a lot in the preseason, but overall, I thought the O-line played great. I thought the backups played great. Bennett Warren, when he was in, was a MFer out there. Go back and watch him. Brian Grant looked good.
Sham out there at guard.
Yeah, Sham out there when he was at guard looked good. This offensive line, as I kind of was sneakily thinking, the backup's probably a little further along than we think, and Heupel likes to trust elder classmen in those offensive line positions. But with that said,
but again, trial by fire, right? The offensive line was banged up.
Right.
They protected him a lot during camp, spring camp, fall camp.
Right.
Those young freshmen got some run. And I don't remember if it was Ellerby talking about it or Coach G talking about it, saying, hey, those young offensive linemen are out there going against the best defensive line in the country. They had to grow up in a hurry, and we saw a little bit of that today.
Yeah, and a big point of emphasis that we know was talked about all offseason is the red zone efficiency. Boogie, I don't know if you caught this, but Brent Hubbs brought up the point that we had 25 less touchdowns last year in the red zone compared to 22. So I thought that was a huge stat.
What were we in the red zone today? Do you know? I don't know.
I didn't catch it, but I'm pretty sure that Nico
had to be high.
Hold on, let me see.
It was almost.
I don't know if it's on
100%. I thought.
I don't. Because I would almost think it was 100% because
I think it was
the two drives in the first half that stalled out.
Right.
I bet they were 100%. I don't see it on the team stats.
I think they were, which would make 2 games under Nico. It's been like that. His only 2 games
without running the ball himself. By the way.
Yep.
Anybody got any final thoughts? We're going to get out the door here. Dauber, final thoughts on week 1. Total domination.
Hey, like I said, what you expected, how it was supposed to go. It's refreshing to play a team like UT Chattanooga and just take care of business. Get your guys in there, get some reps, sit them down for a while, and let other guys play. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Dustin, final thoughts?
Yeah, totally agree. Did what you're supposed to do. As far as I've noticed, got out pretty injury-free, got a lot of rotation in. And like I said at the start of the show, it's a great icebreaker. We got some bullet points that they need to hone in on a little bit and tighten some screws. But I think it was a good icebreaker to, circle the wagons and get ready to kick some butt next weekend.
Coach Jay?
I'm just pumped, man. I think I said it when we opened this up, man. I don't want to settle. I think we got something, man. I think we got something. We're young, but we're dangerous, and let's just keep on humming, man. I will apologize to Wayne. Did you read that super chat yet?
I was going to read them at the end.
Okay.
I can throw it up there. Wait, I want to say
quick.
thanks to Coach Jay for making me lose my mind trying to find Bishop Gorman versus Modern Day last night to watch GBO.
I started to do the same thing, and then I got thinking, wait a minute, that's next week. I went back into the chat and was like, I messed up. It's not this week.
Yeah,
so
I saw that comment. I was like,
Wayne, I tried.
I was like, nobody's going to see this comment. Not a single person.
I was too excited. Dang it. All right.
One last thing, I'll toss it back to you, Boogie. It was the fast starts. We're used to seeing fast starts, but like we talked about, we didn't see that lull that we had seen last year. And so I think that's going to be crucial for us all season long. Is popping out a couple of quick scores off the top of the game and really gut punching people. I think that'll be a huge advantage of us.
Yeah, we talked about that on the tailgate show. It was like, man, thinking back to like South Carolina, Missouri, how fast this team would jump out 28-0. And it's like, man, the game's over. And that's what today was. The game was over. Felt like a scrimmage. Felt like the orange and white game. Grande Johnson for 2 programs across the country should be concerned. I think that's how we'll end this dang thing. Let's couple of quick plugs and chills. The upcoming week, we are full steam ahead. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, the day after video will come out. I got a night to sleep on it, think about it, come back to you guys and put out the day after video. That'll be bright and early in the morning. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, fan call-in show. You guys get to come on and get your thoughts out bright and early. We used to do it later in the week, and I was like, no, man, I want the fan call-in show to be on Sunday when you guys are fired up, you guys have opinions, and you want to voice them. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, fan call-in show. Monday morning, 9 a.m., me and Eric Kane, Talkin VAWLS live morning show. Get your coffee ready. We'll hang out with Eric Kane for about 30, 45 minutes. I'll watch Josh Heupel's post-game press conference on that stream. Tuesday night, EA Sports College Football 25. Guess what? They put out an update. You guys can boost your stats. We're back. You guys can boost your stats. I transferred all the players. So if you had a player on NCAA 14, we transferred it over to EA Sports College Football 25. That's going to be Tuesday night. Also, 4-star edge rusher Jaden Lofton suffered a season-ending injury. He said, Boogie, I want to come hang out. It'll be good for my soul to jump on and hang out with the Talkin VAWLS. Tuesday night, me and Jaden going head-to-head on EA Sports College Football at 6:30. So tune in for that. Wednesday night, 7 p.m., Talkin VAWLS live. Friday morning, me and Coach Jay at 10 a.m. And then Saturday, an hour before kickoff and immediately following the game. But that is going to wrap a big fat bow on this one. For Coach Jay, for Dauber, for Dustin, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. We will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and